educated people and uneducated people. Trump is taking down the Department of Education. It's a crazy change in the world. Everything is changing. We take those. We freaking take those, ladies and gentlemen, every day. Brett Cooper just made a deep dive into why it's time to abolish the Department of Education. And as an educated individual myself, I completely agree. Doug, I'm gonna be real. No, Nux is gonna get canceled again. Listen, it happens. You get canceled every day. Every time I get canceled. We love that. It's insane. Listen, I have a very hot take when it comes to education. If you're going to college to get a degree, and you're not gonna use that degree, you got scammed, brother. That shit useless. Listen, a degree in liberal arts and underwater basket weaving ain't gonna help fucking no one. It's a pyramid scheme, okay? You get a degree in liberal arts. The only thing you can do with it is teach more fucking morons liberal arts. Now what do? They teach more idiots liberal arts. There's no fucking use to this shit. So then, you know what they do? Well, they teach more people liberal arts. It's an actual pyramid scheme, okay? Get out of here, bro. Now, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or something that's actually, you know, you could use the degree, power to you, buddy. The only thing you're getting with another degree is debt. And I will point at laughing you. All right, let's jump into it, baby.
But the thing is, even though this executive order would be historic, it would be hugely impactful, Trump can't just abolish the Department of Education with a signature. The Department of Education was created through an act of Congress, so it must be abolished by a vote.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Trump is gonna keep winning. I'm telling you. He says they're gonna get tired of winning, and I'll be real here. I'm not feeling it yet. He's wrong. The biggest lie Trump ever told. You'll get tired of winning.
Congress, however, well,
all right, I'm ready, baby. Woo! But Department of Education is finally fucked. The funniest thing is, I think America is ranked like 40 out of 40 in the world, like the worst education ever. And then you got the fucking people on the other side, like the Democrat people, sitting there and being like, hey guys, Trump is trying to make our education worse. Brother, you did a pretty good job today yourself.
Welcome back to another episode of The Brett Cooper Show.
All right,
we
let's go,
have
baby.
some updates for you all. I'm so honored. I'm so excited to inform you all,
all right.
that I have gotten a pop filter. So the days of me blasting in your ears and you hearing literally every single piece of my enunciation, hopefully those days are over. Also, guys, I read your comments. I removed the headphones. You know, I got these really cool headphones that you
I didn't even notice. Huge dub! You don't have to cosplay a Daily Wire creature anymore. You can do whatever the hell you want, bro.
Saw in the previous episode, and also you'll see them in an episode that I pre-recorded for next week. But I got these really cool headphones. They're from the 70s. We got them fixed up so that I could use them. I put it on, and it just didn't feel right. And oddly, I just felt so weird wearing them, and I saw comments being like, Brett, you don't need the headphones anymore. So I have officially ditched them.
Damn.
We're back to the original setting.
She's evolving, bro. She's evolving.
Happy to be here. But guys, today we need to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. We need to talk about the state of education. If you guys have...
Oh God, I'm so fucking ready for this. I needed this moment so badly. I so badly needed this. Like, dude, it's such a big dub. There are so many huge dubs happening right now. Like, you can't keep up with all the fucking dubs.
Been watching my content for the last 3 years, even before the last 3 years, because this is something I would write about constantly and talk about in my social media videos. We need to talk about education, and more specifically, what this means for education under President Trump, because Trump has been signing executive orders left and right, and I know it is.
He just did my favorite executive order of all time. He just signed something so monumentally huge, so insanely big, that honestly, I think the more people that know about this, the better. It is something that is literally changing and evolving every moment of our life. Our life is improving, literally improving by the minute. Check this out, bro.
Executive order relating to the use of paper straws.
He is banning paper straws! Yes! Yes! Bro, no more of that shit melting in your mouth. You're trying to drink and you're eating this fucking shit.
Yes! Consistently identified. Nobody really likes paper straws.
He's
Number
right.
one trending.
Get him out!
The paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So
yes! I am dissatisfied with my straws. Straws should be made to suck, bro. Yes! God, this is why he's the president of the United States. He's spitting fact. Now, this is the most important goddamn executive order ever seen.
We're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing...
Dude, look at this guy laughing in the background like this isn't the most important day of his life.
...procurement processes, and we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times.
Let them invent another straw. Let them invent another goddamn straw.
On occasion, they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't let...
I don't know what straws he's referring to here. Listen, I've never had a straw explode. They more just kind of melt in your mouth and make your mouth taste like ass.
It's very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws.
Yes! Okay? Yes, my guy! Yes! This is so much more important than all the other things. Oh my God.
And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean. Okay.
Okay, so I had people in chat being like, so just fuck the turtles? Just fuck the oceans? Guys, 928 billion masks were bought during the COVID pandemic. That's 116 masks for every person on Earth. The people upset with President Trump bringing back plastic straws were completely okay with this. I'm just saying. And then Trump, the absolute fucking monarch, the large orange swinging balls, they're stringing and they're orange, made the craziest tweet of all time. We're going back to plastic straws. POTUS, this is like the actual president account. That's my guy. That's now. Yes! Yes! God, dude, this guy, he's crazy. He's insane. Anyway, on much less important note, he's also abolishing the Department of Education.
Pissing off the left because they think that he is abusing his power, but honestly...
Oh God, dude, the protests. How could Trump make decisions? We only, elected him to be a fucking president.
He is doing exactly what he promised us. I mean, the theme of Trump's presidency thus far is promises made, promises kept. And listen, we are getting exactly what we voted for, and we are very happy. I mean, from keeping men out of women's sports just a couple of days ago, which was just incredibly historic.
Yeah, made a video about that. People were very unhappy with me. They were like screenshotting my video out of context. They were really trying to cancel me for that one. I don't know. I thought it was pretty like reasonable in that video, honestly. I was very surprised that the completely rabid, insane freaks would take a screenshot and take it out of context. Honestly, evil and despicable. And honestly, I don't even know what's offensive. Yes, I put "make penises male" again on the title, on the thumbnail of the video. But in my defense, is that not something he would say? Like, I don't know. Anyway, I leave that to you to decide. Let me know in the comment section below.
If you guys have not seen that photo of Trump signing the executive order surrounded by young female athletes, it was, I mean, truly brought tears to my eyes. So many years of hard work came to that moment. It was just incredible. I mean, from that to directing our government to unseal the JFK records.
Oh God, dude, that's gonna be so crazy when that happens.
So much has happened. And next up in the slate of executive orders is apparently the future of the Department of Education. And TLDR, Trump wants to abolish it. But
this is gonna be crazy. Dude, and the protests, honestly, they make it even funnier because they just hate Trump, right? They literally just fucking hate Trump. And now, because they hate Trump, everything Trump does, they immediately have to disagree. Like, for example, transgender people in women's sports. That is obviously stupid. Like, so obviously dumb. Like, guys, they're built biologically differently. This is not even, like, going against trans rights or anything. Like, this is just protecting women from getting fucking obliterated, all right? Like, hello, obvious shit. But because Trump said that, people had to take the alternate side and look like complete fucking retards. With all due respect, that's what they look like when they try to argue that. And there is no argument. They just don't want to be, like, eaten by their woke friends that think that they're cringe, that because biology is racist.
As are many things in our political landscape right now, education is a very heated issue. And a lot of people don't understand how this would work, if Trump would even be able to abolish it. They don't understand why people even want to get rid of the Department of Education, and they're very concerned with what happens after the Department of Education has been abolished.
Baby. I'm ready. Let's go, dude.
So we're going to try to break all of that down for you guys, answer some questions, but before we do, make sure that you like
the idea of agreeing with Trump is scarier than dying on the wrong hill. 100%.
This video and subscribe to the new channel if you've not already.
Hell yeah. Link in the description, of course. And definitely subscribe to me for more chaos. Yes, people are upset when I say that they're fucking retards and all their education was a scam, but yes, I'm gonna keep saying it. Why? Well, because honestly, it's very funny annoying them. If it wouldn't annoy them, I wouldn't go so hard. The only reason why I'm so motivated to keep making content is because I know there is a group of people that hate me so much. It gives me power. Honestly, I appreciate you.
And of course, ring that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date on all of our uploads.
Hell yeah.
And of course, if you want ad-free episodes, a weekly advice video from me, and an exclusive newsletter for subscribers only, make sure to check out my subscriber platform, Cooper Confidential. We have the link right here. We will also have it in the description below, along with my exclusive launch merch. But without further ado, let's get back into the topic.
Right,
so, abolishing the Department of Education has been something that has been talked about for years at this point, but in the grand political sense, it has kind of been a fringe issue. Many conservatives and Republicans in Congress are very much against this.
That is true. A lot of people, this really wasn't the main thing Trump ran on. It's just gonna be a little nice dub to see people losing out. Because my favorite I have to stop saying this because there are so many good conspiracy theories right now. You know the difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact? 6 months. That's the difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact these fucking days. But you want to know a really wild one? This one's crazy, and it went crazy viral everywhere. People are saying that the reason why Trump wants to abolish education is to make people stupid, because stupid people would vote for Trump, because only idiots vote for Trump. He's a Nazi, after all. So only stupid people vote for Trump. So he's trying to abolish education to make people stupid to vote for him to become a dictator. Motherfucker, that's the dumbest shit in the universe. No offense. What are you? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And people are actually trying to pull that shit.
They support the department.
Meanwhile, what do they prefer? A Department of Education that is actively propagandizing children with another fucking brain rot. Interesting.
Department of Education, and so this issue has really been propped up by libertarians like Justin Amash and limited government conservatives like my favorite, Thomas Massie, and Rand Paul. And Thomas Massie has actually tried to abolish the Department of Education multiple times at this point. It feels like he is constantly reintroducing a bill to abolish it completely, and yet it never happens.
All
And
right.
as recently as last month, he reintroduced it yet again. On January 31st, he said,
Bro keeps pushing this shit. I just reintroduced HR 899, a one bill sentence to terminate the Federal Department of Education, return power back to the teachers and parents. Let's go! Yep. No more propaganda machine. Who knows?
just reintroduced HR 899, a one-sentence bill to terminate the Federal Department of Education and return power back to teachers.
That's the whole fucking bill. To terminate the Department of Education. That's literally it. That's the whole bill. Be it enacted by the Senate, House of Representatives, United States of America. That's literally it. It's one sentence, the whole fucking bill.
And parents,
right.
This is it, the entire bill. And the bill reads, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, Section 1, terminate the Department of Education.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's
literally one line. It is pretty epic.
That's
but of
pretty
course,
epic.
that would never pass in our modern government because, as we know, bills have to be like 700 pages long and chock full of ridiculous, random things that our government wants to spend money on.
It's almost like this giant spending shit is immoral, unethical, and cringe. Again, you know my take. My take is anyone that's working in government should not be able to be making money aside from their salary. I don't think they should be able to make money in the fucking stock market. I don't think they should be able to make money in basically any other form, like donations from companies. None of that shit should be legal. It's literally a huge conflict of interest, bro. Right? Like, it's so obviously insane. But dude, you have to see my favorite of all time. This is my all-time favorite Twitter account. All right, and don't take this the wrong way, okay? But this is my favorite Twitter account. This is the Nancy Pelosi stock tracker. They just show you every time Nancy Pelosi buys something because chances are really good that she's doing insider trading, allegedly. So chances are good she's doing insider trading. So if you just follow her stocks, you'll probably do really well. She finished 2024 up 54%. So yeah, anyway, that's a coincidence probably.
So, of course, this has not passed. But with Trump's comeback with his focus on slimming down government with Elon Musk's influence and the influence of Doge, eliminating this incredibly bloated, incredibly corrupt government department seems more possible than ever. And this time around, with this reintroduction, Massie actually has 30 Republican co-sponsors for this bill. So
that's huge. Oh my God, this might actually pass.
Times are obviously changing, but
there is a huge vibe shift, like an insane vibe shift.
Co-sponsors is still not enough. One article reads, if a bill were to move forward in the House, the GOP would still have to pull support from lawmakers outside of their 53-member Senate majority to reach the 60-vote threshold they need for the legislation to pass. So at this point, we gotta keep educating people and we gotta pray, which you can do with Hallow. Guys, I'm so excited to share that this episode is sponsored by my friends over at
All right.
And you
Sponsored by prayers?
join the Lent
That's crazy.
Pray 40 wait list today. And maybe we can all work together to pray for the state of education because Lord knows our country needs it. Even though Massey has 30 Republican co-sponsors, even though Trump is talking about it, people are still against this. And it makes sense because getting rid of anything...
No, because the thing is, this is a huge thing that existed in America for a long time that obviously, seemingly, has a net positive on everyone, right? It's a net positive to have more people educated, obviously. I wish more people would be educated. I hate talking to idiots. Idiots bore me. Unless they're real idiots, in which case they entertain me a lot. So anyway.
Education. Dealing with education will always be difficult as it is a very emotional and personal issue for people involving their children. And in my opinion, this is because they often conflate the existence of the Department of Education with the existence of public education in the United States. Nah.
That's some retard shit. There is no way people conflate the Department of Education with free education. That's idiotic. The Department of Education is just forcing everyone to be on like the same curriculum and shit. Wait, what?
Which is just simply not the case. And I think that this comes down to most people not even knowing the history of the Department of Education and the fact that it was never really supposed to have the power or the budget that it does today. I mean, like most government agencies, it has obviously overstepped its bounds. I mean, most people don't...
Yeah, because every government agency's been doing that. I am so excited to see Doge sink their teeth in all of these other people. Idiots aren't fun, but retards are hilarious. Honestly, that's so true, Chad. No, but I definitely, I'm curious to see once Doge finishes with U.S. AIDS and starts sinking their teeth into like the Department of Education and the military, and like, I am curious where all this money is going because there's a lot of money moving around and there's a lot of really rich politicians on their meager salaries.
Don't even know that it is a relatively new government department. In fact, Jimmy Carter, who just passed away, he was the one who created the Department of Education. He signed it into law in 1979.
To quote Trump, I didn't like Jimmy Carter. He was a bad president. He was kind of shitty. I really hated what he did there. He gave away lots of things that were kind of cool. What a fucking loser, that guy. I mean, that's basically what Trump said in slightly different words. No?
And somehow, just to give you an example, somehow over the last 40 odd years, their budget has ballooned from $14 billion to over $238 billion.
Yeah, where's the money going, bro? Where's the money going? Doge is doing FEMA now? Listen, I want to see Doge keep grinding, all right? I want to know what the money that I am giving the government, god damn it, I want to know where that money's going. Where the hell is $238 billion a year going in the education sector? Like, what are you doing with that money?
That is insane. But what is even more insane is that over these 40 years, over that insane increase in spending and in budget, there has been no improvement in American education. Just look.
True. I mean, you look at the stats. America's at rock bottom. So where's that $238 billion going, huh?
Look at this graph from the Cato Institute. This is the trends in American public schooling since 1970. So the blue line right here is the total cost.
If you look at the chart,
the amount...
I just summoned my inner Asmongold for a second there.
That we, as taxpayers, are spending on American education, that obviously has skyrocketed. Oh, employees have skyrocketed. We're paying more people. We see where our money is going. And then let's look at reading scores, math scores, science scores.
God.
Oh, they've stayed exactly the same.
That's crazy. That's insane. I guess the only thing that went slightly up was enrollment. Everything is literally dog shit except costs and employees went up. What the hell, man? What are you doing? It's almost like throwing more money at the problem doesn't work. I don't know how much money is actually being thrown at the problem, bro. Money is not going to the schools, it's going to the yachts, all right? I don't know, bro. I don't know, dude. I don't know where this went, where this is going, what are all these employees doing? What fucking hell, man. I just wonder if, like, you know, diagnosing more mental illnesses in people as is done more recently. Like, I wonder if that contributes to extra costs and extra employees. Dude.
There has been no improvement in the slightest. Now, to give you guys a bit more backstory and context on this department and on this issue as a whole, I called my friend Ryan Gerdusky, who is the founder of the 1776 Project PAC, which is reforming school boards across the country, is trying to reform education. He is a genius on all things American education. And he broke down the history of the Department of Education like this.
Before there was a Department of Education, there was something called the Office of Education. That came out about right...
Damn, he looks good for someone born in 1776.
After the Civil War in 1867. And the purpose of that was just to collect data, like on schools and on school, how they were performing, what books they were reading, make a document, give it to Congress. That was basically the entire thing.
Right.
And then when Lyndon Johnson becomes president in the 1960s, he says, hey, we really need to revamp education. The federal government needs to get really involved. And he creates Title I, which is about how to distribute money to local municipalities across the country, especially
The first law, it's about moving money around.
low-performing, poor municipalities. And education fundamentally changes at that point. Once
We are going to turn colleges into mental asylums. It's okay, don't worry. Don't worry, that's what they were originally meant for anyway.
money is really involved. Jimmy Carter runs on the idea that he's going to create a Department of Education. This is a big campaign promise to the teachers' unions, and it revamps education and broadens the scope of federal authority in the way that the federal government works with education.
And like I said at the beginning, and many of you know this, like I said, education is near and dear to my heart. This is probably the political issue that
Yeah, education is obviously a really important thing. It's obviously a really important thing. I really hate that people think that Trump wanting to disband the Department of Education means that Trump doesn't want people to get educated. That's insane. That's crazy. Vivek said that every senior should be able to pass the same civics test as immigrants before they graduate. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, bro. It really does. Like, why the fuck are Americans such idiots? You come out of high school and you ask them, like, how many states there are in the United States, and they're like, 3? Like, dude.
I care about the most. I feel like I have a stake in this as a young person that recently came out of the education system.
Alright,
I feel like I
alright.
tried every different form of homeschooling and public schooling. I went to community college. I went to a formal university. I've tried everything.
The YouTuber, can you imagine the YouTuber video? I tried every form of government schooling to tell you which is the best. Damn.
Catholic school at this rate, and I know that there are problems, but the one thing that really stood out to me that I learned from Ryan when I interviewed him was that all of the intended functions of the Department of Education already existed in our federal government.
I found it.
Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Buddha?
Fuck.
Where is Brazil located?
I'm so bad with geography. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Where's Brazil located?
Across the sea.
All right, across the sea. Where's Brazil located?
Brazil is located on the edge of like Europe.
Where is Brazil located?
No!
Tell me. You don't know where Brazil is? No. No idea? No, do you? I do. It's in East Europe.
No!
That's my second guess. First guess was the U.S. Where is Brazil located?
Brazil is located in hold on, it's not South America. Is it South America?
Oh,
I think
my
it's
God.
South America.
All right.
Oh.
First man to walk in the moon.
I know it. Okay. Once you say it, I'm gonna know.
It's Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, it's American, by the way. Who's the first man to walk on the moon?
Yeah, anyway, you get the point. It's depressing. All right. Good thing we have a government. Good thing we have a Department of Education, guys.
Prior to 1979, prior to the department
Where's the Great Wall of China? Isn't that in Japan?
actually being created, they were just broken up into different departments based on what those departments' specialties were. They were not under one huge umbrella. And creating the Department of Education consolidated all of it and gave this department and the unions that lobbied for the creation of this department major power and control, as Ryan also covered. Listen here.
Many of the functions of the Department of Education were happening pre the creation, but they happen within different departments. This consolidates them and brings it all under one house, and it really gives the teachers' unions representation, and also creates a massive budget. All of the unions definitely create huge pressure. The teachers' union is one of the largest unions in the country, and depending on what state you live in, they could be the largest, in any given region.
And guys, to this day,
Dude,
the people...
So it's, listen, the Department of Education, it's a name. It's definitely having power and a chokehold over the industry and whatever, and education across the country. But it's not like canceling Department of Education just means they're going to stop education. That's stupid, bro. That's obviously not happening. All you people worried that Trump is trying to make people stupid, bro, you already failed.
Who have the most control over the Department of Education, who are the major lobbyists, the major motivators behind everything they do. And that would be the teachers' unions, quickly followed by the guidance counselor union. And if you don't know about the power of teachers' unions, maybe we'll have to do an entire episode just dedicated to that because it is truly insane. And based on the graph that we just looked at from the Cato Institute, it seems like these unions, these major lobbyists, the motivators behind the Department of Education, have cared a lot more about lining their pockets, about...
Yeah, where's the money going, baby? It's literally, it's the basicest question of all time. God! I say basicest, talking about education. That's hilarious. But dude, where is it going? going? Where is it going?
Hiring more administrators, obviously, because the staff is growing, and pushing
Good thing they hired 1 billion administrators. Shame Americans are still dumbasses.
political ideologies instead of improving American education. In fact,
Political ideologies. That's where this money is going. It's going into people that are fake. Administrators of political ideologies. Are you kidding, bro? Are you actually joking?
in a recent op-ed for The Hill, Representative Harriet Hegman spoke on this perfectly. She wrote, that money, in other words, the
money, the $238 billion going to the Department of Education.
$238 billion, hasn't been effectively used to educate our young.
Well, obviously, they failed.
It has disappeared into the maw of the Department of Education with no accountability for failure.
And people are upset that Trump is looking into the shit. People are upset that Trump is asking Elon to look at where all this money is going. Like, dude, is this not the most obvious fucking shit in the universe? Like, I feel like this is the most obvious thing ever. Make sure that the money is going to good places. And you know who's protesting against Elon Musk? Well, it's probably the people that are making all this money. Listen, you wait a month, okay? You give it 1 month, and you will see all the people that led the protests against Elon Musk. All of them are going to end up getting exposed that they were making crazy amount of money, suspiciously through money that should have been going to schools and whatever. All right, I'm just saying. It's blatant corruption if that's true. And I bet you that the people who are so upset and scared for democracy because Elon Musk is unelected, those are the people that are making millions off this crap.
The departments not related to education activities are also well known. Federal bureaucrats, for example, spent 3 years seeking to replace the word sex in federal education amendments to the Civil Rights Act with sexual orientation and gender identity.
Dude, why would they spend millions of dollars on that? Oh my God, dude, you've got to be kidding me.
They have interfered with teachers' ability to remove disruptive and dangerous students from their classrooms, and they have promoted a seemingly endless stream of woke policies at the expense of our cohesiveness and to undermine pride in being American.
Remember when all these things were just conspiracy theories? Remember when these were just conspiracy theories, guys? They're just conspiracy theories. Yeah, totally. They're totally just conspiracy theories. They're spending millions of dollars teaching kids about random woke policies, undermining pride in being an American, and they're surprised that they don't know that there's 50 states in America, 51 if you include Canada.
The result? They are turning out generations of children who can't read or do math and believe that America is evil. Hence why so many lawmakers and so many conservatives like myself want to see this department dismantled. It is beyond time.
It's insane, it's toxic, and it's corrupt, and it's pushing. Honestly, I don't know why ideologies need to be pushed before basic math to children. Like what are you doing? It's more important to focus that some random kid is an anti-American than if they could do basic addition without a cell phone.
Time to silence that disruption like I do with my silencer from Silencer Shop.
Bro, that's sponsored by a silencer? Okay, that's insanely based.
Upgrade your guns today. But obviously, right now, this noise and this disruption to our education system has not been silenced. It is in full force, and it is not positively impacting the quality of our children's education.
Well, obviously, because education is still at absolute bottom.
In the slightest. In fact, by taking power away from the states and the parents, many argue that it has only made education worse, not
interesting,
just stagnant. And so, as part of his 2024 campaign, one of the ideas that Trump ran on, one of the promises that he ran on, was abolishing this department in its entirety and sending power back to the states. Just take a listen from one of his rallies.
I'm going to take the Department of Education, close it in Washington, let the states run their own education.
Dude, that would be such a huge fucking dub. That would be such a huge dub. Dude.
We spend more money per pupil than any other nation in the world by far.
Then why are they failing? Every pupil, more money is put into each individual pupil. And simultaneously, they're the most uneducated people in the world. Or at least in the democratic world.
And yet we're ranked at the bottom of every list.
How?
Which is all true. Which should be incredibly embarrassing to every American. It should be a top priority for Americans to figure out how to fix this so that we can serve our children.
Well, you know what Congress says? You know what Congress says? Congress says that you should just put more money into it. And then suspiciously, no one gets better educated and politicians suspiciously get richer. And no one knows where the money goes. But that seems to be the solution. Just throw more money at it. Don't know where the money's going to go, but
our students better. And yet, on the left, and with many Republicans, the only solution they seem to come up with is more money. But we are already
Because where's the money going, guys? Where's the money going?
He's spending an insane amount of money. And again, going back to that graph.
Like, especially when you see all this stuff, you see the stuff Trump runs on is basically 100% anti-establishment. It's anti the concept of some random shadow puppeteer controlling everything. Then suspiciously, a roof is unguarded by Trump's rally. An assassin somehow managed to get up there and shoot at his head. That's weird. That's funny. Just pointing out weirdnesses. I'm not saying anything here.
Graph, you can see where the money goes. It goes to the unions. It goes to the administrators. It does not even go to the teachers, which we're going to talk about.
Teachers are broke. Teachers don't make money in America. Anywhere, teachers are kind of broke everywhere. It's kind of sad. But dude, where's the money going?
But going back to Trump and going back to his promises, promises made, promises kept. Just this week, the Wall Street Journal revealed that Trump is actively taking steps to ready an executive order that would, quote, dismantle the Department of Education. So apparently that is next in the pipeline. They wrote, Trump advisors weigh plan to dismantle Education Department. Administration officials are discussing executive order that could shut down key functions of the agency. And that was published on February 3rd. This has got people very excited. It was trending for like 24 hours on X.
And then, of course, you have the people on the other side being like, Trump is trying to cancel education.
But the thing is, even though this executive order would be historic, it would be hugely impactful, Trump can't just abolish the Department of Education with a signature. The Department of Education was created through an act of Congress, so
it needs to be canceled through an act of Congress.
It must be abolished by a vote in Congress. However, with an executive order, Trump can break it apart. And that is what people are speculating that he'll be doing. Here is how Ryan broke it down.
We want the Department of Education, certain things in the Department of Education to still happen. We want Title IX to be enforced, right? We don't want biological women to compete with biological men in sports. That is partly Title IX. My guess is he's probably going to move Title I into basically give it back to the states almost immediately and have the have very limited federal interaction as far as distribution of state money goes, and then Title IX will probably get moved to the Department of Justice.
Ooh, interesting. Shuffle around the different bits and pieces of the Department of Education before they actually try to destroy the rest of it. It's an interesting strategy.
I imagine, or maybe HHS, Department of Health and Human.
I don't know. Trump's team has been cooking. Like, dude has been insanely cooking. It's wild.
Services, whatever they have to preserve, Pell Grants will get moved to maybe the Treasury or something like that. Whatever they have to preserve will get moved to other federal departments. The Department of Education will probably be a building with no lights on.
Whoa. So, that is a crazy strategy. That is a crazy strat. All the parts that they actually need, they move around. Then they fight to destroy whatever's left. Sheesh. But like men and women in sports together, like putting that into the Department of Justice, for example, like I could see it. It sort of fits. Doesn't need to be in education more than it needs to be in justice. Like, so that's really interesting. Dude, this is a historic vibe shift.
TLDR, how this would work is that many of the original core functions of the department, pre-Department of Education, pre-Jimmy Carter era, they would still exist. Title I would be protected. It would be just moved under a different jurisdiction. Title IX, everything that we fought for women, for protecting women, that would be protected. It would just be moved. It would all be reallocated and shifted around to break up this power monopoly that this department has over our education system in the states. And you just gotta know, and I love this, that the teachers' unions are losing their minds. Because remember, they were the ones in the first place. They are the ones who benefit the most. They are the ones who have the most power.
Dude, these people are freaking out. They're sitting on their cactus dildos and shaking. They are shaking. They're terrified. Like, dude, if I was a Democrat congressman that was making billions of dollars off skimming money off the top of the Department of Education, I would definitely be protesting Elon Musk right now. I would definitely be protesting, dude. No doubt in my mind. I'm not saying that any of these people did that, but if they did, then it definitely explains why they're going so hard about it.
Over everything this department does. So I want you to take a listen to my good friend, Randi Weingarten. Randi Weingarten, if you didn't know, is one of the people that I despise most on the face of the earth. She's the president of the country's largest and most powerful teachers union, and she recently did an interview where she was screeching about
meltdowns? Guys, lock in. Leftist meltdowns. That's what I'm here for, baby. Every time. Let the chaos flow.
Trump's plans for the Department of Education and how this would take money away from students and instead line the pockets of billionaires.
You've got to be kidding me. They're trying to flip this shit. Oh my God. That's like divorced from reality.
Money going?
What? How could you ask that question? How could you ask where's the money going when right now $238 billion a year is vanishing?
Who's taking it?
You've got to be kidding me.
Are they trying to take that money that kids get for tax cuts for billionaires?
Oh my God, dude, this is brain dead. And you know people are going to watch this and be like, oh my God, she's right.
What's going on? That's why we have to see what they're doing. It is illegal to take that money out of children's mouths and give it to billionaires.
See, this is...
Bro, what the fuck? Where's the $238 billion going, huh? Yeah, that's not how taxes work.
Why this issue is so emotional. Because they say things like this, we're taking money away from your kids. Your kids are gonna go...
Literal emotional blackmail. Actually emotionally blackmailing people. Bro, I haven't seen a Democrat meltdown that bad since Lincoln freed the slaves. That's crazy.
Hungry. They're lining the pockets of billions. None of that is happening. Literally not in the slightest. Also, I love at the beginning, she goes, where's the money going? The money wouldn't exist in the first place because we would stop taxing people. People, American citizens, the parents of these students would be able to keep more of their money. That is what...
Like, you explain it in such an obvious way, but like, dude, that's crazy that people are gonna use manipulative language like that. What about the children? The children are suffering under the hands of the thick, orange, meaty hands of the Trumpanor.
Where it would go. It just wouldn't go to you, Randy, which I think is what you were most concerned about. Because again, none of...
We didn't miss you, Randy.
What you just screeched about and basically burst into tears over is happening. None of it. Yes, you might make less money. Your $500,000 a year salary...
What? Who gets a salary of $500,000 a year? Is that true?
Might decrease, you might have less power, but children will still be able to go to public school. Children will still have access to school lunches, if that is what you're concerned about. Teachers will still be paid as their salaries are set by the state. They're not even set by the Federal Department of Education. And I just want to be on record.
Yeah, this is crazy. I can't believe she's actually trying her best to do that. I cannot believe she's trying to take that emotionally manipulative angle.
Saying that I am in favor of anything that decreases the political power of these teachers' unions, that decreases the power of people like Randy Weingarten, who use her position to further her own political ideologies and to make more money for herself. So yes, Randy, that is a long way of saying that money will be allocated differently. That will change.
That's the point. Dude, $230 billion, bro. $230 billion.
But it will be sent to the states.
So I don't think you're going to see a massive slashing as far as spending goes. It's really who does the spending and where. So I don't think you're going to see most of it go away. There will be somewhat of a fingerprint still from the federal government on education, and then the rest will be deciphered by the states and local government.
Which, interestingly, you seem to support, Randy.
States and localities run education. That's where 90% of the funding for education goes. They already run it. They should run it. The federal government should not run it.
I'm so glad.
Is she joking? That's exactly what destroying the Department of Education actually is about. Dude, she's actually brain dead. This is fear-mongering. How is she on the news saying this? She's on MSNBC saying just certifiable false information, and no one's gonna even say a word about it? They just let this run? Oh, freedom of speech, she just lied to everybody. Let's go, dude. And now the journalists have integrity. What's going on? Like, that's just a lie. That's just actually manipulating people. And again, it's fear-mongering people into thinking that Trump is taking away the money from the children.
Glad we can all agree, Randy, that the state should run education, that the federal government, with your $238 billion budget, should not be running the American educational system.
Shit.
So maybe that faux emotional outrage that we just saw is really not about the students, but it's about you and your pals losing political power. So hopefully, guys, those insights from Ryan, that brief history about the Department of Education,
yeah, that was really good.
Plans, how that would actually work. Hopefully, that clears this up for you, explains why this is happening and what you can expect. So yes, things hopefully are going to change. But hopefully, if this works the way that we want, fingers crossed, this means that students will be getting a better education. This means that
which should be the point, right?
Parents and states and school boards, the people who actually understand their local students and understand what they need, will be given power again. And hopefully this means that our education system will stop being run into the ground by a small sect of self-serving bureaucrats.
Which it is. And it's not just run into the ground. It's obviously manipulated for personal growth, but I cannot believe this. Dude, female Palpatine over here had a crazy meltdown. Actual wild crash out. Department of Education literally giving false information to everyone. That's crazy. We need a Codex Astartes in every school right now.
Works the way that we want, fingers crossed. This means that students will be getting a better education.
I mean, that's the hope. Obviously, no one knows what's gonna happen, but that's obviously the hope. They're not gonna get a worse education. It's already dog. It's already bad. It's already pushing crap down people's throats. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Means that parents and states and school boards, the people who actually understand their local students and understand what they need, will be given power again. And hopefully this means that our education system will stop being run into the ground by a small sect of self-serving bureaucrats. So in my opinion, this is something that everyone, regardless of whether you are on the left or the right, should be excited about. And if you are worried about this...
I think that this is kind of a litmus test to if you're an honest person or not. Like, I think that there are some things that are just so obvious that you're just anti because you're anti-Trump. I don't think there's any actual explanation as to why the Department of Education needs to run this way with no oversight as to where $238 billion are going. Like, for real. I don't think anyone believes that. But anyone that says that is just purely anti-Trump because it's Trump and they don't actually have a genuine opinion or insight that I even want to hear. Dude, $238 billion is going places. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is, making sure that education exists, right? Education has not been helping. So where's the money going? I think everyone should want to know. And if you're not on that side, then you're just anti-Trump and you don't have an honest bone in your body.
Department being abolished in its entirety and that causing something that we've not planned for. According to Ryan, Republicans don't even have the votes to do that as it stands now to abolish the department, so maybe it's something we don't even need to worry about.
Congress has to vote for it, basically. He needs the 60 senators, and there's 53 Republicans, and I don't think most of the Republicans... But not most, but there's a lot of Republicans who would not support abolishing the Department of Education.
All right, so this is going to be wild. I wonder.
So a formal closing it down is probably not going to happen, but reducing its size and scope of what it does will probably, happen.
So again, support for your students is not going away. Protections over students are not going away. Aid for school lunches is not going away.
Nothing's going away. It's just being managed differently. Nothing is going away. It's just putting power in the hands of the states instead of the government with more oversight as to where all the money is going so that literally money doesn't just disappear into the deep pockets of random rich people. That's literally the whole point. It's the most brain-dead, obvious decision in the universe.
If the Pell Grants aren't going away, they will hopefully just be run by people who are actually involved in those specific issues. Hopefully the person that is now overseeing school lunches will be RFK Jr. And hopefully this reallocated students' education will not just be increasing, but also their health will be increasing. And I also think that this could help spark fresh involvement from parents and students on the local level, because I want you guys to know that you actually have way more power than you think. Like, we really, honestly, do not have to wait for any of this to happen on the federal level. We do not need to wait for this executive order or for any of this to take effect to make a change. And the school system in Miami-Dade County in Florida is a testament to this, just like...
Okay, I didn't even know that was possible. Cool.
In some districts, like in Miami-Dade, which is a conservative majority school board, you're seeing dynamic changes. You're seeing Singapore math in the classrooms. You're seeing classical reading levels now, reading going to K through 3, soon to be K through 5. They're trying things, and when school boards are actually dynamic and have the ability to really make reforms, you're able to see big improvements in education.
I mean, all of that is incredible. They are getting a classical education in elementary school thanks to what the school board is doing and what they are willing to try and implement.
I didn't even know that the school boards individually were allowed to go against what the Department of Education was actually telling you that they could do. I mean, obviously the people do have power. I think people's pressures people into doing shit. Just in general, politicians want people to glaze them. They want to be loved, and they also want to be rich. Populism, baby.
Another great example that Ryan talked about were the states of Mississippi and Louisiana, who had the best student rebound in the country, in the entire nation, post-COVID because of the steps that the local school boards and local legislators took. In fact, in Mississippi, 4th graders had achieved the #1 spot in the nation for gains on the NAEP in reading and in math, with 4th graders scoring higher than the nation's public school average in math and tying the nation in reading. In addition to that, 8th graders had outpaced the nation for growth in math and held steady in reading. Nationally, scores for most NAEP subjects dropped or remained flat. And in Louisiana, the results were similar. And the superintendent there credits this to getting back to the basics and credits it to states' rights.
Wow, it's almost like just pushing random propaganda pieces and forcing stupid crap like, oh, we should change the word sex to sexual orientation. Like, dude, just teach people how to fucking read. Teach them how to do math. Like, what are you doing, guys? Like, focus on the basics. Come on.
And he said this in a recent interview from just a couple days ago. He said, I operate from what I call the BRAVE plan, going back to basics, redesigning systems, accelerating parental rights, valuing teachers, and expanding educational freedom. It's so funny how things get better and move more efficiently and faster
when there is freedom instead of like a chokehold into pushing propaganda. Weird. Yeah, that's weird. I totally wouldn't have thought that.
And you remove the influence of government.
Weird. To quote Rachel Ziegler, weird.
To accomplish those things. That is the way that we push out resources, and it's what drives our conversation with community members, policymakers, and educators.
So there actually is evidence that changing away from actual government crushing oversight works, right? So what is everyone talking about how Trump wants to destroy America and make people stupid? Because I'm telling you, I've seen a plethora of meltdowns talking about how Trump is trying to make people stupid by abolishing education to make them dumb and vote for him. Like, dude, I actually see that all the time. Like, that is the argument. That is the argument being made. Dude, there's evidence that it works. Like, what is going on?
It's a comprehensive set of reforms we put in place, and it's really encouraging to see movement. Right now, we also have a ton of alignment between our governor's office, our legislator, our state board, and our agency. And that united front helps with implementation in schools. I also think that we execute really well. I've had conversations with individuals in other states that have attempted similar reforms, but the execution wasn't what it needed to be. We are really intentional about both the initial launch of policies, but also support afterwards. And then continuing on, he said, many schools and systems and educators across the country have chased shiny things, and sometimes even ideologies that aren't necessarily relevant to simply teaching kids to read and do math.
Why are you teaching ideologies, bro? Teach math. Teach reading, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. This is so cringe. Holy shit. It's so wildly cringe.
Time when funding is becoming less plentiful, which is odd because
more money is being spent there than ever before.
Again, $238 billion budget, that really shouldn't be the case. States need to look at academic returns on investment. It's a really good time to focus on schooling, particularly in elementary schools.
Listen, I don't want to make any statements here that can be taken out of context, possibly. I'm not trying to take anything out of context, you know. Context is very crucial. Doesn't this sound like a cult? Where all this money is going in to teach children things that aren't actually important for their life, like math or, science or reading or anything like that. But you're teaching them ideologies. Doesn't that sound like a little cultish? And no, we need this chokehold that everyone in the government is, that there's a Department of Education that's, controlled by the government, right? Not the states. We don't want to give states autonomy. Like, listen, it sounds scary. It sounds dystopian.
I mean, seriously, it is comical that this is something that a superintendent has to say. That really, it's a good time to focus on schooling. Yeah. Shouldn't that have been the focus of the federal government, of the Department of Education for the last 40-odd years? No,
it's only important now because now they're actually threatening to shut it down. Now they have to focus on schooling.
Because they focused on ideologies. They focused on giving power to administrators and these teacher unions instead of actually helping the kids. And what makes me even more excited about states like Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama was not far behind them, is that these are the states that get mocked and shamed. These are the low-income, backwards, conservative states that the left and the teachers unions love to mock and demonize. They're the ones who are the laughing stock of America. But obviously, they're doing something right. All the coastal cities that boast about their education system, sorry.
They're cooked. They're frauds.
You can't keep up with Louisiana and Mississippi because, as the superintendent said, they're focusing on schooling. And back to that point about local school boards and parents being able to make change, as you're seeing in Louisiana and Mississippi, I have always said that the only way I would run for public office, because truly that seems like the worst thing on earth, I would rather drag myself across hot coals than do that.
Facts. No, that sounds awful. I would never want to be in public office. Holy crap.
The only way I would do that was if it was for a school board, because real change happens there. Again, even without the federal government. And you do not need to be a parent or an educator to be on the board. I mean, some of the most effective change makers recently have been young people. Some as young as 18 years old who are hungry and motivated and have just recently left the school system. So they intimately know the problems. They intimately know solutions that can help students, that can get this system back on track.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it sounds so obvious. Again, maybe I'm falling down the alt-right rabbit hole, as they say. But dude.
But to sum all of this up, hopefully Trump is able to make this happen. I hope that he is able to dismantle and restructure American education, maybe even abolishing the Department of Education in its entirety. I would love for that to happen. I would love to see the glee on Thomas Massey's face if he is finally able to pass this one-sentence bill. And this certainly will make things better and easier coming from the federal level. It will eliminate a lot of financial bloat. It will eliminate a lot of corruption, which is obviously a good thing and we should all be advocating for, whether you are on the left or the right. But per usual.
Yeah, no, for real. I think that it's so obvious. Okay, let me ask you a question. Is corruption bad? Yes. Should we expose it? Yes. Should we try to destroy it? Yes. Do you like what Elon Musk is doing? Well, if your answer is no, then you're obviously more anti-Trump than you are anti-corruption.
What I want you to remember is that change always starts with you at home. So if there's something that you do not like about your school system, if there's something that you do not like about your child's education, the power is in your hands. And if you are a student, there is so much that you can do. And
it's definitely a wholesome perspective.
Urge you to look into Ryan's work with the 1776 Project PAC. And with all of this combined, after 40 plus years, we will finally, hopefully, be focusing on improving American education. Because truly, that is the end goal.
Yeah, no. Again, it sounds so obvious. But they're terrified of making the world a better place. they don't want that shit, bro. They don't want that. Okay, where's the $238 billion going? Well, we don't know, but education's not getting better. Obviously, something is doing the wrong thing. Obviously, something is failing tremendously. Trump could come out with the cure to cancer, and people would find a reason to complain. Trump could bring Jesus Christ back to life, and people would say, bro, what took you so long? Like, you don't understand the insanity of what's going on. The meltdowns. They're crazy. These people are insane. This is like such an obvious thing to do. But anyway, that's been Trump destroying the Department of Education. Huge dub. We take those. We'll see if it happens. I'm inclined to believe it will happen because the world is changing at an incredibly rapid rate. The chaos is huge. The chaos is crazy. Cryo Trump every 4 years. We freeze him. We thaw him. We bring him back every 4 years. Cryo Trump. It's gonna be big. I'm curious to see where this goes. And most importantly, fuck paper straws. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.